Te reo ererangi o te mānia. This episode was produced in Otatahi by Plains Media, with support from New Zealand On Air.
This is Simply Nourish, empowering women through menopause and beyond. I am your host, Brenda Bickerstaff. Join me and my guests for an inspiring conversation about how they survived and thrived during this important new chapter of life. Today's conversation is about strength, not just physical strength, but the kind that asks you to begin again, to back yourself and to keep going when it would be easier just to stay the same. My guest today is Kerri Baker. In 2019, Kerri weighed in at 105 kilos and made the decision that quietly changed the direction of her life. What started as getting back into the gym became a journey of discipline, purpose, and ultimately stepping into the bodybuilding stage, something many people would never consider, let alone at 50. Since then, Kerri has competed in ICN New Zealand transformation competitions at regionals and nationals, walking away with medals, pride, and a whole new relationship with her body. But this story isn't just about weight loss or bodybuilding. It's about identity, resilience, being visible, and navigating both support and criticism along the way. Today, we're going beyond the before and after photos. We're talking about the work no one sees, the mindset shifts, the judgment, and what it really means to choose strength at any age. Kerri, thank you so much for being here. I'm really looking forward to unpacking your journey.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you so much for touching base after my random post ended up on your lap.
It was crazy. Just for the listeners, I was scrolling as we do, and then this post comes up about Kerri, and we're not even friends or anything. We may follow some similar pages. But and I was like, wow, how outstanding. I need to speak to this woman. But before we get into it, Kerri, I just thought we'd do my little warm-up round. So just to ask you a few little cheeky questions, and we'll see where that leads us. Does that sound good?
Yeah, go for it.
Righty-ho, in your gym bag, what is the essential thing you could not have in it? Or you need to have in it?
I have to have in my gym bag, I have to have my training gloves, my towel, my protein water, my weight belt, and my headphones because I hate gym music.
Okay, that leads in nicely. Music for training, loud and motivating, or something totally unexpected?
Loud and motivating. I've got 2 playlists, which are random as. I've got music on my playlist from all genre, from Johnny Cash to new stuff. So, my playlists are rando as.
And do you put them together yourself, or do you just download?
Yeah, they're just playlists I've just merged together on Spotify.
Fabulous. And are you an early morning trainer or a late in the day?
Morning. 6:30 in the morning, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Mondays and Sundays are during about 9:30.
Now, taking your mind back a few decades potentially, what was your favourite childhood food?
Fairy bread.
Oh, fairy bread. Absolutely. Yep, I can relate to that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Now, what food or foods could you give up in a heartbeat right now?
Pretty much anything, because I've given up a lot of foods already anyway.
Okay. And we'll come back to that then. We'll investigate that a little bit deeper. Now, if someone shadowed you for a day, what would they be surprised the most about you?
I don't give up. I'm stubborn as all hell. And, basically, I start work at 1 o'clock this afternoon and I close at 9. From the time I set foot on the floor, I'm basically all go. And I can push and work harder than some of the juniors that are 20 and 30-year-olds on the floor. That's
a really interesting observation, isn't it? Because do you feel it's more of a generational shift in that, or
yes, totally. Some of them are just lazy.
And what does lazy look like to Kerri?
Can't be asked doing their work, sit back on their morals. Yeah, just can't be bothered hauling ass. Leave work on time. That's my biggest pet peeve. I generally, like the last 2 shifts, I've worked late, but there's some that I work with that bang on the knocker. They're off out the door, and it drives me nuts. We can have our asses being handed to us, and they will walk out the door, bang on time, and it does my head in.
Yeah. Do you see that in the gym as well?
No.
Difference, eh?
Definitely not. No.
Yeah.
People go to the gym and train and get their sets done and do what they want and talk and catch up with mates and stuff, but the gym's a completely different aspect than work. The gym for me is my de-stress zone. It's my time out. It's my mental health. That's why it's so important I keep going.
So that's before you were in the gym, before 2019, was the gym part of your life?
I ran a gym for about 4 years back. Oh God, quite a few years ago. I ran a branch of Configure Express for 4 years, and that got closed on me the day I turned 40 because the owner in Auckland refused to keep the gym up. It was a primary women's only gym, so ladies were paying a premium price for a premium women's only gym. The owner let it go, wasn't fixing stuff, and we were losing ladies like no one's business. He wouldn't fix stuff. So day I turned 40, he shut the gym, and I vowed and declared never to set foot back in a gym. I went to a local gym in New Plymouth for about a month and thought, nah, I can't do it. It was too big. There were too many buff heads and grunters in the place. Left. Never set foot back in the gym again until 2019 when I saw that photo of myself.
So before you saw that photo of yourself, when you were sitting at 105 kilos, when you owned the gym, what sort of weight, what sort of image, what were you like? What was your aesthetics like?
I was still big. I was still sitting around 80 odd kilos. I was still sitting around 80, 85 kilos. I mean, my son said to me a little while ago when he was home, because my boy's in the Navy, so he's home when he's home. He said to me a little while ago, he said, Mum, it's a crack up. He said, don't get offended by this. I said, no, I won't. Say what you want to say. He said, you're in better shape now than you were when you were running the gym. I said, yeah, no, it's pathetic, eh? So it is what it is.
It's interesting, isn't it, what you've just said there? Because I find that a lot of women are now starting to realise that they can actually be in better shape than they were even a decade ago. Are you seeing anything like that happening in your area?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of women losing weight, but to me, they're losing weight the wrong way. They're losing weight using Wegovy and drugs. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, what's going to happen to you when you stop using that stuff? It's all going to go back on. You cheat. To me personally, that's cheating. You're not doing it the right way. Yeah. But that's how I find things like that. If you're not in the gym and you're not losing the weight and you're not changing your shape, changing your body, changing your mindset, changing your eating habits properly, it ain't going to work.
I have to agree with you in the sense that I take a long-term view look, that we can all change within a year if we really want to, but do we want that change to last beyond that year?
Yeah.
We want it.
I've done it previously. I worked for a weight loss clinic quite a few years ago, where it was all monitored food. You weighed in, you wrote your food down. It was a hydraulic resistance circuit. I dropped 16 kilos in a matter of about 20 weeks. Yeah. My boss went on a cruise. On the cruise, she had a double brain aneurysm. I went from working at the gym to running the gym overnight. My stress levels went through the roof. I put every bit of weight back on, plus more, in a matter of a couple of months. So if you don't lose it the right way, it goes back on. And it's bloody hard to get it back off.
Totally. And we will get into that mindset change, because that's such an important aspect of any sort of behavioural change that we want to embrace. Now, just still staying just before pre-2019, so you looked in the mirror or you weighed yourself or something happened and you went, what did you go? What did you say?
It was my grandson's first birthday, and I had a photo taken of me. I saw the photo of me, and I thought, ugh. And that was it. Although I'm not going to be a fat nana. And that was it.
Did you get on the scales at that stage?
Yep.
And what size clothing were you wearing?
18, 20s.
Yeah. So that was the catalyst to get you moving again,
Yep.
to decide that hey, I want to change my life.
Seeing that photo of me at my grandson's first birthday, I thought, no, hell no, that's not me anymore. I can't do this. I'm not going to be a fat nana. I want to be around to see my grandson grow up.
Yeah. And
Because I've only got one grandchild. I may only ever have one grandchild. So I want to be around.
So when you had this realization, what was your first goal? What did you
get back into the gym?
Back into the gym.
Yeah.
And with getting back into the gym, what did that look like eating wise? Had you completely given up the gym for those 3 or 4 years?
Oh yeah, no, I hadn't set foot in the gym for years. It had been years and years and years since I'd set foot back in the gym. Basically what I did in Taranaki, we have Sport Taranaki, and they have a thing called a green prescription. Mm-hmm. So I touched base with the Zara from Sport Taranaki with green prescription, and I got one. And there's several gyms that you can take your green prescription to when you have a reduced rate. So I did 6 months under the green prescription to get me back into a gym. And after that, I was all go. So after the 6 months, I got under a trainer and did some PTs and sort of got back into the swing of it and just cruised along. Got some programs and stuff done, and then started doing things by myself and that. And then, got into a few more different things, some classes and that, which I normally don't do classes. I hate classes with a passion. I prefer to train myself than run around like an idiot with a pack of other people doing class work. But, and then just sort of things progressed from there. Got doing more and more PT with, paid for personal training, and then had this dumbass idea to get into bodybuilding.
What was that you said just before got into bodybuilding?
Then had this dumbass idea to get into bodybuilding.
Okay, that'll teach me for asking. Okay, this is Kerri Raw.
Yep. This is me.
Okay, and don't forget, all listeners, everyone has their own journey, and this is Kerri's journey.
Yeah, this is me.
This is Kerri. We love Kerri. This is great. Midlife isn't about slowing down. It's about your comeback. At Simply Nourish, we fuel your energy, build your strength, and help you thrive through the menopause transition. Forget quick fixes. This is about real change, backed by science and led with heart. Join a community of vibrant women rewriting what's possible. Simply Nourish. Stronger, wiser, and just getting started. What were you most afraid about stepping into the gym again? Were you afraid?
Failing.
And what would failing look like to you?
Still being 105 kilos now, or bigger.
And so, obviously, food, nutrition had to play a part, because we do need nutrition as part of the whole weight loss journey.
That was a huge thing. So to actually get underway properly with things, I had to get under a nutritionist. So I've spent quite a few years under a nutritionist, paying to be told basically what to eat, how much to eat, when to weigh, da-da-da-da-da. So, my mindset is very much, I spent quite a few years eating keto before I got under a nutritionist. So I lost a lot of weight on keto. Mm-hmm. I lost probably about half of my weight on keto, but keto, you've got to be so strict. It's, you can't vary off it, because your body does not do nice things if you vary off it. And then when I sort of decided to get into the bodybuilding aspect of things, then I knew I had to find a nutritionist to do things right. But that in itself is another sideline type thing, because There's nutritionists and then there's nutritionalists.
Mm-hmm.
There's ones that are just out there for the money, and there's ones that, are out there to look after you properly. And the first nutritionist I was under was just out there for the money.
And it's so easy in New Zealand to call yourself a nutritionist because it's not...
This person was qualified, but, the results weren't good.
No. And did you have the support of your family, your friends? Was everyone behind you, or did you just want to do this quietly first?
I sort of did it quietly first. I mean, not a lot of people noticed what I was doing. Nobody was really aware of what I was doing initially until I really sort of started going hard, and then people started noticing, and that. So yeah, and then I've got when I said what I was planning on doing with competing, then I got a lot of support from people.
And had competing always been something you were interested in, or had you just fallen?
God, no.
Okay.
Hell no, that's me stepping right out of my comfort zone. Shit, no. I've never done anything like that before in my life. I was scared as all hell. I've never set foot on a stage before in my life. Let alone had to learn how to pose and act like a female.
Okay. So we're going right back to basics.
Yep, totally. And basically, I mean, the shoes I had to wear to compete were working girl shoes.
You mean like hookers?
Yeah, they're hooker shoes. And they're like 1.5 inch platform heels. Hooker shoes. Okay. So you got to learn to walk in those suckers because, man, they're not easy.
Look, listeners, I'm just having a look over at Charlie, our producer, and he's having a little giggle. So when
you're wondering what the hell he's got himself in for.
Yeah, pretty much, but that's okay. Quintessential Kiwi here. When you owned a gym or you were running the gym, you had no plan on bodybuilding? You weren't interested in lifting weights for that reason?
No. I never even thought about that.
Okay. So you got...
I was just there to help my members.
Mm-hmm. So when you joined your new gym and you started to lose some weight, you're getting your nutrition sorted, when was the moment you thought, I actually want to compete? Or did you go looking for it? Did it fall in your lap? How did that happen?
I actually don't know how it happened.
So
there was a lady that I got to know in the gym who was competing, and I was actually watching her. And I did say to her one day, I said, "What are you doing?" She said, she was getting ready to compete with ICN bodybuilding. I said, "Oh, yeah." And I sort of talked to her a few times, and I sort of thought, And I sort of said to, what categories, and had a look online, and thought, oh, yeah, maybe that transformation could be a bit of a go. And that was it.
And I just wanted to jump back to the nutrition there, because what sort of weight were you sitting at when you made this decision? How much had you lost?
Oh, shit. I think I was sitting at about 80, 85 kilos when I made that decision.
Okay, and because everything's in weight classes as well, isn't it?
Not transformation, no. Transformation is about body shape change. Okay. It's about transforming your body shape. So yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about this transformation. So what does this mean?
You take photos. You've got 12-month transformation or 6 months transformation. I did the 12 months transformation. So by a certain date, you've got to take your before photos. Mm-hmm. 12 months later, you take your after photos. That's what the judges judge 95% of it on. The other 5% is your gown, because you go out in a full formal gown and you got to pose and bits and pieces and strut your stuff. So I did all my photos, and then you work your butt off for 12 months to slim down and change your body shape, transform your body shape as much as you can. So basically, I worked for 12 months to slim down and change my shape as much as I could. I mean, I didn't place because there were ladies that had lost 30, 40 odd kilos. Wow. Against what I'd lost. It is what it is. I don't care. I gave it a crack.
Oh, it's phenomenal. My question then is, how are people losing 30 or 40 kilos in 12 months?
I'm buggered if I know.
'Cause
That was my question when I found out how much weight they'd lost. What had they actually done to lose that amount of weight? Had they lost it legitimately?
Because obviously sustainable weight is, as we said earlier in the show, is for me and for you is paramount. It's not just the one-hit wonder. So what sort of program did you go on nutrition-wise to drop the weight, and would you say how much did you lose in that first transformation?
I think my stage weight, I got down to I was about 72 kilos, and my trainer at the time spat the dummy at me because she didn't like what my nutritionist was doing and gave me an ultimatum.
Can I just pause you there? So you got down to 72, so you've dropped over like 30 kilos.
Yeah.
But this wasn't over the...
No, like my before photos, I was sitting around 80, 85 kilos.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So I got down to about 72 kilos during my 12 months to get ready.
Yeah.
My trainer at the time didn't like what my nutritionist was doing, spat the dummy and gave me an ultimatum that it was either her or my nutritionist.
So what was
I needed her more than my nutritionist because she was my trainer.
So what was your nutritionist doing that wasn't...
He was shredding me. He was shredding me quite brutally.
Okay.
I was eating very minimal calories. I was basically looking like a skeleton. So, I said, okay, I need you more than him. I got rid of him. I put on a little bit of weight, which I wasn't keen about, but I had to keep her happy. So I stepped on stage at Transformation at 75 kilos.
But wouldn't that weight also that you've put on, would that be muscle? So were you losing muscle?
Yeah.
Or
I was losing a lot of muscle mass under him, yes.
Yeah, you'd have to, because if you're under eating, it's the muscle that goes.
Yeah, I was because she was seeing that in my weekly PTs with my weights because my weights were dropping.
Yeah.
So it is what it is with that. So yeah, I stepped on stage Transformation at 75 kilos. Things happened with her. She decided she didn't want to continue on with me, so I found a new nutritionist / trainer to get me through to compete again last year.
So with the Transformation show,
yeah,
you said earlier that you had to learn to learn to walk like a lady, but in your hooker shoes.
Yeah.
What did you do? How did you learn this?
Very well. My nutritionist's wife trained me
to walk.
She trained me to walk and pose and bits and pieces. So. I mean, with the shoes, it's just a matter of chucking them on and wearing them around the house just to learn how to walk in them and get used to the height and stuff on them. Because, I mean, your calves are screaming because they're so high and your legs are aching and everything. But it was more the learning how to pose because you've got to pose, you've got to hold the pose for so long before you turn and pose for the next thing. By the time of it, every single muscle in your body is absolutely screaming and you're aching for days afterwards. But you soon get used to it. But it's just a matter of learning to walk in these damn shoes.
So I'm curious to know why does your muscles screaming? Because how long are you holding the poses? Is it just because you
can be holding the pose for up to like when you're doing you've got two sets of poses. You've got your optionals that you do when you go on stage, and then you've got your compulsories. So your compulsories are when you're in a line with all of the people you're up against. So you are told to, do your quarter turns, and you can be standing there holding that quarter turn pose for up to 15 seconds before you're told to move.
And I'm assuming you're flexing.
Yeah, that's a hell of a long time to be standing there holding a pose and flexing your muscles for before you're told to move. And then you're moving, you're breathing, and you're popping your next pose, and you're holding that until you're told to move again. And you could be doing those quarter turns 2 or 3 times each round, and then you're told to move, and you're told to do them again. So by the time you come off, every muscle is just screaming.
Could you end up cramping while on stage?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, you're cramping up on stage. I was. especially last year.
How do you deal with
cramping
that?
up big time. You just breathe through it and think, hurry up and tell us to move, please.
And what would happen if you moved too soon? What if you broke the pose?
You lose points. So you just got to grin and bear it and think, hurry up and tell us to move. You get off stage, you grab your bag of Epsom salts and put it on your legs and your muscles to relieve them.
And how often would you do that a day? Like if you're in competition, are you just on stage like once for like your gown? And then I assume it's like togs?
Regionals and nationals, I was on twice. I was on for runway, which is a formal gown, and then I was on for swimsuit. So I was on twice. Actually, no, sorry, I lie. I was on 3 times because swimsuit I was on in 2 categories. So I was on stage 3 times. And then because I placed, I went on a 3rd time for the swimsuit for overall. So, yeah, I was theoretically posing 4 times, and it's brutal.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see this picture in my head now. So you'd pose and then you do a quarter turn, pose again. So it's not just posing once. It's literally 4 times.
You're doing a side pose, your quarter turn. You're doing a back pose, your quarter turn. You're doing a side pose, your quarter turn. You're doing a front pose, and you're doing around and around and around and around. So yeah, it gets brutal.
And just for the us women out there who don't really understand, so when you say doing your quarter pose, you've got your arms, so you're flexing your arms, your legs, everything at the
your arms, your butt, your legs, your calves, your stomach. You're sucking everything in, and you're popping everything.
What do you mean by popping?
Popping, like you're popping your biceps, you're popping your triceps, you're popping your legs, your butt, your calves, everything. You're squeezing every single bit of muscle you can.
That must be really hard mentally as well, because I know that even if you're trying to do your glutes and they say squeeze your glutes in that certain part, sometimes it's hard to remember to even do that.
It's exhausting.
And how many women were you competing against?
Depends on how many, like the nationals, the runway, I was up against 8. One of the nationals categories for swimsuit, I was up against 5. So depends on how many ladies entered each category.
Okay. And is it more weight category or do you have age category?
Age.
Oh, okay.
Age category,
okay.
Yeah.
So in transformation, it's age category?
No, transformation's just everybody's in one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then so when you go to the body, so you went from transformation?
Yep, and to the actual bodybuilding set. Yeah.
So that was a year after transformation.
Yep.
So, okay, and so you finished transformation. You were happy with that? Were you happy with that?
Yeah, and then decided to step it up a level and go full on.
So why did you want to step it up?
Because you can't do transformation again.
Okay,
it's a once off. Yeah.
So
transformation's a once only.
Okay. And so the reason you wanted to stay, why did you want to stay in bodybuilding or go into bodybuilding, further it?
Something to do. Bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, family and friends all really supportive?
Yeah.
And in the transformation, you were in bikinis or togs?
No, transformation was a formal gown.
Oh, just the gown?
Yeah, transformation's just a formal gown. Yeah.
So how do they judge you? How do they decide what's the best?
How the gown fits. A lot of like the transformation, it's judged on your before and after photos, which are taken basically in like a shorts and a crop top, a gym crop top type thing. So you try and wear the same as close as you can for your before and your after photos. So your 95% of the transformation photos are judged on your before and after. The last sort of 5% is judged on your gown, how it fits, how it sits, how you pose in bits and pieces. So, yeah.
Do you think it's quite a good way to get women into the sport, but also to get them to really build muscle for their bodies? Like, I'm not sure if I'm saying this the right way.
Transformation's a good entry into it. If you want to, give it a go and you want to lose weight and get into something like this, transformation's a good entry level into it, because you're not going full on. It's a bloody expensive sport.
Oh.
I mean, the swimsuit that I had made from Australia for last year, that was $450 just for the swimsuit.
Wow.
And then I bought my gowns for runway and stuff for last year.
So do the gowns, just the gowns for the transformation, do the women all have to wear the same?
No, you wear whatever you want.
Because, gowns can vary and they can make you look real good getting the right cut.
I mean, my transformation gown, I actually had that made personally for me. But my gowns for the runway category last year, I actually bought those from Temu.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. So we got back, we've done transformation. We've now decided we're going to go into bodybuilding, the real McCoy.
Yeah.
How big a mind shift was that? What had made the changes mentally?
Not really, no. It was more go harder. Go hard or go home.
And did you think you could go harder?
Yep. I knew I could, because it was more of a push. It was more of a, okay, step it up a level, push harder, work harder, train harder, and I knew I could do it.
So talk us through these step-ups. Let's say for the step-ups for your training, for what did you have to go to or from transformation to bodybuilding?
Increase the weights.
So
basically it was like increasing. I was still training, gym training 5 days a week, but it was increasing my weights, changing my reps, changing my weights, increasing my weights every, couple of weeks, changing things up.
So for a transformation, when you're doing your weights, were you more doing sort of like 12 reps, 3 sets of maybe to fatigue after your 10th rep? What?
Yeah.
Something like that?
I mean, it was more sort of, 12 sets of, 3 sets of 12 reps for just training to create a shape in that. Whereas with last year, because I changed my trainer,
mm-hmm.
And I was under a female nutritionist / trainer who knew female bodies, she created programs for me, and she would change them up every 6 weeks, whereby some weeks would be, okay, you're going to do 3 sets of 12 of this, and this. And she'd change it up, and then it would be tempo-based. I would be 3 sets of 12, but the tempo would be pulling, say, for all in purpose, doing a lat pull. So I would be pulling down to a count of 3, releasing to a count of 5 for each pull. Doing to a tempo is bloody hard because your muscles are under bigger restrictions and bigger control. So under Katie, my trainer for last year, she would regularly change things up, but I would change my weights as I needed to. And I would tell her, because I had an app with her, so she would see every single training day I did and see what my weights were. So she would know when I was changing my weights up and what weight I was pushing. I mean, got to the point I would do a leg press. I was pressing 250 kilos on a leg press.
Wow. And does the tempo, is it because your muscle is under tension for so much longer that's helping to build it?
Yeah. I mean, probably the biggest thing, just going back to transformation, the biggest thing with the transformation was I had a total knee replacement 6 months before I went on stage for transformation.
Well, how did that work? How did you manage that?
Yeah, bloody stubbornness.
Sheepers. Keep that one quiet.
I was back in the gym. I was back in the gym after 2 weeks.
And so what was much muscle loss?
No, bugger all, because I was back in the gym after 2 weeks. I said to my surgeon, he said, any questions? I said, yeah, how long am I out of the gym for? He looked at me. I said, I'm serious. I said, I've got a comp coming up. He said, 2 weeks. I said, sweet, I'm back in the gym after 2 weeks. I said, I promise upper body. He said, yep. 2 weeks I was back in the gym doing upper body. I was on the bike just doing half rotations for a week. And I thought, bugger this, I can't be bothered with this. So after a week of doing half rotations, I was doing a full pedal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's part of my mindset just to get things back. And there was no stopping after that. That's how I knew I could keep going with things.
Have you always had this really, really great sort of mental capacity once you've put your mind to
I'm a
something?
stubborn little shit. I'm stubborn as all hell when I put my mind to something. Hell yes. I always have been.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back in the gym. We've decided to go bodybuilding. We know about what you've done to the change in the weights. How did the nutrition change? Because I'm imagining this, you're wanting to drop fat but have enough fuel to build muscle, and it's getting that right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where Katie, my nutritionalist trainer that took over from October 2025 to 2024 to get me through comp in that last year, everything she set out a food plan. So I had like breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, tea, evening snack. I had 2 options. I had no idea how many calories I was eating a day because I didn't want to know. But I knew what I had to eat, and everything was portion controlled. I knew everything. Like I still, even though I'm not competing anymore, I still eat very close to what I was eating when I was competing. Like my breakfast, even now, this morning when I got home from training, was 25 grams of rolled oats, a scoop of protein powder, 70 grams of blueberries, and 100 grams of sliced peaches. And I've been eating that since October 2024.
What do you reckon your protein intake was like?
Every meal had protein of some sort. So like it was either protein powder, my morning and afternoon snack was protein shakes. My lunch always had chicken or steak, venison, because my son, when he comes home, he'd go hunting. I always had protein in some form.
Did you find it hard to actually eat sometimes?
Nah, because I was always hungry.
Because of them. How often would you train?
5 days a week.
And would it be 1 session a day?
Yep.
And how long's that session?
Anywhere up to an hour and a half.
Okay. So, and just weights, no cardio?
Oh, yeah, cardio as well. Mm-hmm. Like this morning I went in, warmed up, weights, and then cardio. But like I've got a spin bike at home here as well. If I don't do cardio at the gym, I've got a spin bike at home here that I jump on and do my cardio at home.
Would you say you're obsessed?
Slightly.
Yeah. So you're really hungry. So you're not quite sure how many calories you're eating, but it's kept the hunger at bay.
You just fill up on water.
Okay.
Because I drink like protein water. So I have protein. You like your protein powder that you use in protein shakes.
Yeah.
But there's also protein powder you use in protein. It's called protein water.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
It's brilliant.
Okay, talk to me more.
It's really good. You put a scoop of it in your water and you drink it. So every bottle of water has protein. I have protein water in it. So I was getting extra protein with it as well. So you just, if I was hungry, I'd just slug back some water.
Okay. So you're still getting that, the benefits of the water, the hydration.
Yeah.
But you've just got, and is it cloudy or is it clear?
It's clear, but it's flavoured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Another good way. Because I'm assuming that with the amount of calories you'd have to be eating, physically trying to sometimes eat all of that would be quite difficult. So having a liquid diet to supplement.
No, because I was only eating 5 times a day. So you'd space it out.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was like leading up to nationals, that was when it got rough because I was eating 7 times a day.
How do you eat 7 times a day? Walk us through this one.
You're looking at your watch and it's like every 2.5 hours. They were cracking up at work because I'm a dispensary tech by trade. So I'm up running around like a bloody idiot in the dispensary. I look my shit, food time. I'd go and get my little container of raw broccoli and raw asparagus and chicken and squirt my maple syrup on, and I'd be sitting there standing there running around eating it in the dispensary. And the boss would walk past and hook himself a piece of broccoli or a piece of chicken or a piece of asparagus. But every 2.5 hours, I would have to eat.
But how do you do that? I mean, are you forcing it down?
Yes. The last week it was basically forcing it down, because if I didn't force it down, I would throw up.
And why do you have to eat so much? I would have thought it would
because you're stripping, you're shredding.
You see, I would have
stripping every last bit of fat you can get off your body.
But why is eating more stripping your fat?
Because I was eating chicken, broccoli, and asparagus. That's all I was eating.
Right, all day.
Nothing else. All day. 7 meals of that. That was it. Nothing else. 7 times a day.
Mm.
No, nothing else. No oats, no nothing. That was it. That was my food.
Yeah, so all your carbs have gone.
All my carbs have gone. Everything else is gone apart from that.
You got a bit of fibre in your broccoli, but not much.
Yeah, nothing. So, I mean, the last week, the week leading up to Nationals, it was basically mouthful of food, chew, mouthful of water to swallow it down. That was the only way I could get it down without throwing up.
What was your body fat percentage when you competed
When I stepped on stage, at 60.7 kilos, 19.8% body fat.
Wow, that's impressive.
Mm.
How's your energy?
Nothing. Zero, zilch. You're freezing bloody cold because you've got very little body fat, and your energy is absolutely zilch. I mean, my husband was sitting in the front row watching me. And, I mean, it's the first time he's been to a competition and watched me. He was so proud of me. He said to me later on, he said, "You weren't happy, were you?" I said, "Nah." I said, "I was cold. I was tired. I had no energy."
Wow. And
I said, "I was so happy to get off stage and get dressed and go home."
But surely, even if you started eating regularly, or just a little bit more, like a little bit more carbs, say a few days before, would that really show up?
Yeah, I mean, like I competed on the Sunday. The Saturday I had carbs introduced, but they were dry. It was like dry scones, dry lamingtons, dry cake, but they're added in to dry you out, to suck all of the water out of your muscles.
Good God.
Yeah, so you're eating, like my other trainer, I had Blossom, a good friend of mine she's a national champ, she's a judge. She came over, she was my posing trainer. She came over with us. She was giving me every now and then, okay, have this to eat. Have half a scone, have half a lamington, to dry me out, to suck as much water out of my muscles as possible. And I was drinking as little water as possible as well. So, yeah, you're given this dry food to eat to suck all the water out, on top of training, on top of posing training, on top of trying to keep one foot in front of the other. When you've got zero energy, you're sitting in a sauna to strip some more bloody fluid out and sweat. It's brutal. That's a lot of the reason why I'm not competing again. It's brutal as all hell. And at 50, it's like, I ain't playing this game again.
I can see now, I have a greater appreciation that when you are trying to pose, you're doing quarter poses, and you've actually got nothing in you to even hold, to even try and clench into a.
Yeah. You've got no energy. And you've got to smile and think, this is great.
Yeah, I'm so happy. This is joyful. Look at me.
Yeah.
Helps.
It was a great experience. I loved doing it.
Yeah.
I'm so pleased I did it. But I'm not. I'm keeping I'm doing this for me now. what I've created, I'm doing this for me now.
Mm. So on the stage, do people collapse or anything like that because they're so dehydrated?
I don't know. I've never heard of it happening, but it may very well happen.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're on the stage and you're performing or posing with other women, are you all together, or do you do a single thing first and then go into a group pose? I think
you go on first, do your optionals that you choose to do.
And so what are optionals?
Optionals are poses that, like, my optionals are certain poses that I chose to do. So you go on, you do your optionals.
And how long does that last for?
You've got like 5 points that you've got to go and do optionals. So you hit point 1, you do a pose, go to star number 2, and then you go along, and then everyone else comes on, does their optionals, and then you go back in line, and then you do your compulsories.
Okay. And is it all?
So you're only doing your optionals might last 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. So your optionals are quite quick.
And so you got to nail it.
Oh, you got to nail it. You got to go on. You got to pop 1, pop 2, pop 3, pop 4, pop 5 off.
And smile.
Yeah.
And walk in your shoes.
Yep, walk in your shoes. Not fall over. Not lose your balance.
And do you have a gown section as well?
Yeah, that's runway. Runway is your formal gown section.
Okay, so you do your poses, your runway, and then like a group pose off.
Yeah, so your runway, your optionals, you go on in your gown, you do your optionals, go off to your side, then you go on, do your compulsories. It's the same with the swimsuit and any other sections. You go on, you do your optionals, then you go off, come back on as your group, you do your compulsories.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's all very, very structured.
I imagine. And so you said it is age category, but within the age category, is it then it's weight within age?
No, it's all age category.
Oh, so someone could go in there at 75 kilos competing against you at 60?
Yeah. Oh. It's all like, under novice, and then 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 plus sort of thing. So it's all age categorized. So, yeah.
At BBG Built, we're straight-talking builders who know the value of comfort, warmth and smart design. Whether you're planning a renovation or something new, we make the process simple and stress-free. Let's help you plan well and build better. Visit www.bbgbuilt.co.nz to get started.
You mentioned the word drugs earlier in the conversation. I'm interested to know New Zealand's bodybuilding industry, the one you have competed with, that's the clean one, natural, isn't it?
ICN is completely clean. It's ICN, which is I compete naturally, so it's completely clean. You've got to be completely clean.
And do you get drug tested?
Oh, hell yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how often? And
well, see, when you compete, if you place first or second, you get drug tested.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to be completely clean because it's in the rules. They could rock up and drug test you whenever they want.
So
I mean, a couple of years ago, someone that placed first got tested. She wasn't clean. She got stripped.
Is there concern like there are in other sports with all these masking agents now that are available?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of the other bodybuilding confederations around, you can roid.
Mm-hmm.
You can, you can do your roids and stuff, but people that want to roid, as far as I'm concerned, are just idiots.
Yeah.
They're just total idiots. If you want to roid, you're just going to completely destroy your body.
Well, and your life, because...
Oh, yeah, well and truly, 100%. If you want to roid, you're basically screwing yourself over.
Because I do get concerned, like I belong to a gym and it's a good gym, but I see, and no, I don't see these kids at my gym, but you hear about younger, especially men, or younger boys at gyms, and the access they can get to steroids and whatnot is quite easy.
The access is out there. If they want it, they can get it off the dark web, or there's guys in gyms there's people in gyms that sell it. Every gym has people that sell roids. You just got to know who to go to.
I'm so naive.
No, you're not.
I wouldn't know. Not that I wanted to, but I would be like oblivious.
It can be hidden, but you've just asked the right questions and get pointed in the right directions, and you know who to go to get your roids.
Mm. And so the New Zealand confederations, they're all clean, like as in
No.
Oh.
ICN's the only completely clean federation.
So what do the others look like? What does not clean look like?
Well, you can have mixes. You got people that compete that are on roids, and people that compete in the same federation that aren't on roids. How
can you compete when you're not on roids?
You're just going up against people that are bigger and better than you that are roided.
So why
you're just taking?
So why are they doing? Why? But why do they compete against people that they know that are going to be bigger than them because they're taking a?
I don't know. They just it's just the federations. But ICN's the only completely clean federation in New Zealand.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and that's because of Brenda and Andy that run the federation. They've done an amazing job bringing ICN into New Zealand. They've been running ICN for years, and they do an amazing job.
So it's not. So you say brought into New Zealand? It's an international federation.
ICN's worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
But Brenda and Andy run New Zealand ICN.
Nice. That must be comforting to know that when you guys go into these competitions, that it is safe and it's a level playing field.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I was competing, Brenda was amazing. If I had any questions, I could just message her on Instagram and she'd come back to me and answer. She's an absolutely amazing person.
Yeah. Now, one of the other things that did crop up when we were talking earlier and when I read on your Facebook post is some of the negativity towards you. Was it towards you or towards your sport?
Yeah. Towards me, like the gym I go to Anytime Fitness in New Plymouth, and a massive support from the gym manager. And I've only been at Anytime since March last year, and they've supported me wholeheartedly with my competing and stuff. And Richie did a post on the Anytime page with my before and afters and stuff, and how I went and that with nationals, and it got over 2,000 likes and comments and stuff. And I got absolutely slammed by some people. I was disgusting. It was sickening seeing a woman of my age on stage. I was fat. I was ugly. I was wrinkly. I had no ass. It was pathetic seeing a woman of my age competing, let alone in bodybuilding and in a swimsuit. It was like, yeah, okay, thanks for that. Jesus, knock me about.
I think it's incredible that at 50 you're doing it.
I mean, there was probably, out of all of the comments I got, there was maybe about a dozen or so like that. Everyone else was, really for everything that I'd done and, good on you, well done sort of thing. But those comments, especially being on stage at 60 kilos, being told I was fat.
Yeah, not cool.
That was like, wow, you've got no idea what I've just gone through.
No.
Be told I'm fat and I'm wrinkly.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know I've lost my butt, but I'm 50. Give me a break.
And I wonder what those people have achieved in their life.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, a lot of them were Russian women.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, meh, whatever. I mean, I said to my husband about it. He said, don't worry about it. They're just trolls.
Yeah, and that's it. But it is. I can imagine it would be really, really difficult because as women, we are so conscious of our bodies, and you've put so much effort into it.
Yeah, it got to me and it hurt. I said, but I've worked so hard to create what I've got, and to be told I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm wrinkly, and it's disgusting seeing somebody of my age on stage competing. I said, that hurts. I said, that's just made a mockery of what I've just spent the last 2.5 years doing. Yeah. But I said, whatever. If they want to be like that, go for it.
Absolutely. And you should be extremely proud of yourself.
Go and crawl back under the rock you've just come out of.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to have to wrap this up because, as usual, I just get so into it and I forget about time. But just to finish up, you've said a number of times you're now not going to bodybuild again. But you're just going to keep on keeping on.
Yeah. I'm just doing this for me now.
Because it was too hard. I mean, and not to put you down, but it was massive achievement.
It was massive. It's more of those last few weeks of shredding and competing and trying to work and keep one foot in front of the other. I mean, I've got a best mate that I work with in the dispensary. She was waiting to pick me up off the floor, you know, and just seeing what it put my husband through watching me shred. He struggled. Yeah. He really struggled seeing what it was putting me through. And I don't know if I can be actually asked to put my body through that again. I mean, it's 4 months post-nationals. I'm sitting at 67 kilos. I'm actually happy where I'm sitting. I'm still wearing size 10, size 12 clothing. I'm happy with how I'm looking. I'm happy with how I'm feeling. This is me. This is how I want to be.
Kerri, listening to your journey, what stands out isn't just the physical transformation. It's the courage to begin, to keep going, and to stand proudly in a body you've worked hard to build. Your story challenges so many assumptions about age, about strength, about what women are allowed to pursue as they get older, and it also reminds us that choosing ourselves isn't always met with applause, but it's still worth doing. If there's one thing I hope the listeners take from today is this: strength isn't reserved for a certain age, size, or season of life. It's something we can choose again and again when we decide we're worthy of more. Kerri, thank you so much for your honesty, your openness, and your unique Kiwiness, and for showing what's possible when we stop shrinking ourselves and start backing our own potential. And to anyone listening who's wondering if it's too late, or if they're too old, or if they're going to be judged, let this be a reminder that you're allowed to begin again. Kerri, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, thank you so much, Brenda, for reaching out. It's been a blast.
You've been listening to Simply Nourish, empowering women through menopause and beyond. With me, Brenda Baker Staff. I'm a certified, registered and experienced nutritionist and menopause coach. I'm passionate about supporting women to thrive during menopause with personally tailored science-backed nutrition and lifestyle strategies. You can find more information at simplynourish.co.nz. We will have a new episode for you on the second Sunday of every month at 5 p.m. on Plains Media. So mark your calendar and tune into 96.9 FM and plains.org.nz or subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcast or YouTube. You can also support Simply Nourish, empowering women through menopause and beyond by leaving a review. Stay up to date with the show on Instagram at Simply Nourish NZ and Facebook at Simply Nourish, where I also share the latest health information and strategies to support your menopause journey. Brought to you by BBG Built, your builders of choice, and Simply Nourish. Take care, trust yourself, and remember, small steps for big changes.